will be wiped off the face of the earth. Has the date for an Israeli-American strike been set? Escalation in the Arabian Gulf. Missiles from Iran hit the Emiratis. Fires were reported in several locations. A new assessment from the American intelligence. Iran can still break through to a nuclear bomb within 1 year. The Middle East is standing before a dramatic change with the expiration of Trump's ultimatum to Iran. President Trump is wavering between the desire to end the campaign through negotiations and the growing pressure to deliver a decisive blow. For the first time since the ceasefire, the Revolutionary Guards are launching an attack. Iran fired 12 cruise missiles towards the United Arab Emirates. An oil facility was hit. In the United Arab Emirates, they are expecting an American and Israeli response in the immediate time frame. In Israel, we are preparing for the collapse of the ceasefire and are ready for an immediate response. Against the background of the significant escalation in the Gulf, the IDF is on heightened alert, both for striking and for observing attacks. The Americans updated Israel on the operational plans to break the naval blockade in Hormuz and raised concern that the Iranians would attack vessels or countries in the Gulf. And now, everyone is waiting to see whether the Iranians have decided to escalate and by doing so, play directly into the hands of the United States. And while Trump is determined to release the escort the ships struck in Hormuz, it appears that before the launchers from Iran towards the Emiratis, the Iranians may go wild and respond forcefully across the entire Middle East. And right now, the chances of a return to fighting with double intensity are increasing. And in Israel, it seems that the negotiations with Lebanon are just grinding water, meant to drive Hezbollah crazy. And at the same time, despite the collapse of the negotiations with Hamas, Israel will not return at this stage to fighting in the Gaza Strip. I'm Meir Pinto, with me is Mati Shoshani, and we are boots on the ground, bringing you the whole truth about what's happening in Israel and also the whole truth about what's happening in our neighborhood, the Middle East. And this is the opening of day 67 of the war, Roaring Lion, or by its American name, Epic Fury. The United States has launched an operation to free the Strait of Hormuz, while Iran continues to rebuild its power and dictate the tone also in northern Israel through Hezbollah, a terrorist organization that is acting as its proxy. In Israel, we estimate that the current framework will not hold for very long. And against the background of the significant escalation in the Gulf, the IDF is on heightened alert, both for striking and for observing attacks. In Israel, we are preparing for escalation following the Iranian attack in the Emiratis. And a senior official makes clear that Israel is ready to return to fighting immediately. This is subject to a green light from the United States. It seems that this is Tehran's final gamble. The Revolutionary Guards know that the United States used the ceasefire to concentrate forces and intelligence in the Strait of Hormuz, and that a confrontation with them will almost certainly end in a painful humiliation for Iran, which will also endanger the regime. And in order to protect their final bargaining chip, Iran has moved into a frontal attack against the United Arab Emirates and Oman, and Israel could be next in line. Yesterday, the American Navy broke through the Iranian blockade on the strait and safely escorted 2 ships out. The commander of CENTCOM announced that Iran fired cruise missiles towards the American ships, and the United States Navy eliminated 6 small boats. The commander of U.S. Central Command, Admiral Brad Cooper, confirmed to Reuters that Iran had earlier attacked commercial and military American ships in the area of the Strait of Hormuz with cruise missiles, drones, and small boats. According to him, the United States destroyed 6 small Iranian boats that tried to interfere and intercepted the missiles and the drones that were launched. He also said that the Iranian forces are strongly advised to stay away from the United States military assets. I want to take 1 second to point something out, because Iran said that the United States is lying and that no Iranian ships were attacked. And I have to prove that what we are reporting is true and that the American strike is actually happening. So to tell the truth, it was easy to verify, because a few hours ago, the Iranian news agency Mehr reported that several barrages and boats caught fire at the port in the city of Bandar Dair in Bushehr province in southern Iran. And according to the Iranians, the cause of the fire is unknown and mysterious. We're in a war where it is hard to verify information, and Iran is spreading many lies and fake news. So we are truly working hard to bring you an updated and accurate picture of what's happening. So let's continue. In addition, from our side, we checked deeply in order to bring you all the information, whether the blockade was truly broken and whether the United States escorted the ships out. It's important to us that you are able to see the truth through all of the flood of information that's happening right now. So the commercial shipping company, Mersak, announced that it crossed the Strait of Hormuz with American escort without interference. And at the same time, media outlets in Iran claimed that the United States attacked 2 civilian boats that were carrying goods towards Iran and that 5 people were killed. So it is clearly possible to see that the American military is working like a machine on what is required of it. US President Donald Trump threatened in an interview that Iran will be wiped off the face of the earth if it attacks the American vessels. The Emirati Ministry of Defense announced that Iran fired 19 ballistic missiles, 3 cruise missiles, and 4 drones. Anwar Gargash, the advisor to the President of the United Arab Emirates, referred to the Iranian attacks and wrote on X that Iran's dangerous escalation and the attack against civilians are a sign of the moral bankruptcy of a regime that chose aggression as its way of dealing with the neighbors. The Emiratis will not be deterred by this escalation and will not allow it to dictate the future of relations in this region. And once again, Iran miscalculated. In response, the Iranian Tasnim news agency quoted a military source from the Revolutionary Guards who declared, "If the Emiratis make mistakes, it will learn a lesson it will never forget. If it takes an unwise action, all of its interests will become a target for Iran." End quote. Look, on the American table, there are 2 alternatives: an urgent demand for an Iranian declaration of surrender, an acceptance of the American demands, or a wide-scale attack on energy targets and national infrastructure that will paralyze the country for years and destroy the Revolutionary Guards in Iran. And apparently, Israel will have to eliminate the extremist leadership layer of the Revolutionary Guards. Write me in the comments, what do you think about this? But just